everybody, Justin Worden, and you're watching What's New in Electronics. We are here at SMTA in Chicago. I'm back at it with Ryan Gamble from Intaratio. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Justin. Yeah, good to see you again.
Yeah, man, it's always good. You know, I'm a San Diego guy at heart. Still want to go back, so it's always good to reconnect with you. Still living in my hometown, enjoying it.
That's cool. Yeah, we met up in Hawaii last year, I think, and no, actually this year. Yeah, talked surf and other things. And,
all things fun in the sun, man.
Yeah.
But speaking of fun, you guys are you're taking AI to a new level, man. You got so much more stuff going on. So before we dig into the new, let's talk about the four main things that you guys bring to the table, and then we'll talk about the fun stuff you're doing.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, on our site, you'll see we have four major elements to our solution. So we have the full MES run card. We have a whole IoT yield management system backbone called data card. Now that just hoovers up the billions of data points that are being collected on your factory floor. Those two systems talk to each other. You can do amazing things in automation. A lot of our customers have fully digitized their factory lines, automated. The third layer now is AI cards. So running machine learning outlier detection across not only just process and BOM and all that inventory through the MES, but now through all the analytics that's sitting in data card. So as far as automated root cause is concerned, it's done. You can actually start to triangulate based on the outlier detection of what the cause of a failure mode was. Automated generating data, representing it the right way so engineers can trust it, because I'll be the first one to say, if some algorithm's telling me this is a problem, well, show me the data, show me the truth. I need to basically make an engineering decision on that. So that drives that. And the fourth one, another sort of product or module we've had out there deployed for many, many years is Service Card. And that really handles data interchange. When you've got data in some systems and it doesn't necessarily talk well with another system, you can set up these automated feeds to grab that data, transform it, and move it to where it needs to be. This also works with connecting to suppliers as well as vendors. If you're using outside service for other value add to your product, where your product goes out the door and then it comes back in after plating or something like that, if there's data coming off that other factory, you can have service cards sit there listening to a point on their network to grab that data and bring it over.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because I come from the equipment sales side. I know that was always such a big challenge when qualifying pieces of equipment. Does it talk to this? Does it bolt into my existing process? And most of the time the answer was no. And sometimes that can eliminate potential pieces of equipment that they may want, but that's the solution you guys are offering. You're like that translator almost, if I use a language analogy.
That's exactly what it is. No code required to be placed on any piece of equipment. If that equipment is dumping a piece of data, it could be a file, it could be doing an API, REST, SOAP, whatever, you name it. It could dump it out in Sanskrit. We will convert it, and you can set up these pipelines. No programming necessary. Anybody can go in, we can train you within minutes. You can set up a data pipeline. Where's the data source? Click, okay, target that. When do I need to fetch it? You need to fetch it in real time or every hour, pull it. Okay, and what conversion do I run on it? Okay, we're going to convert it to XML. And what am I doing with this XML? I'm mapping it to generate a transaction in my ERP system. That's it.
I'm going back to so many sales calls I've been on as an equipment sales guy, thinking of how many times I've lost sales when I just wish I would have said, it doesn't matter what language it is, call Ryan, they'll take care of it. Maybe we should talk more about that because you spend so much time educating your customer, but now that I'm thinking, your customer could also be the equipment manufacturers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate where you're taking this. No, absolutely. Love to expand on it. Yeah. So we came out of the silicon photonics, semi back end, really complex area manufacturing, where you can't have people touching stuff. You can't manually enter data, right? You're dealing with high levels of clean room, really complex structures, MEMS on a chip, sandwiched on another chip, on a board. So yeah, we learned how to integrate with all these different various solutions, machines there, in order to remove the need for paper, spreadsheets. Yeah, and just created a great translation layer of software. And you don't want to put a burden on machine vendors. Now you gotta shove a DLL on there. You gotta impact their OS and how they operate. No, you don't want to touch that. That's life limit property. But yeah, anyway, love to expand.
Yeah,
more
and then it's important too because again, wearing my equipment hat, we build equipment. We're not the data guys. We're not the software guys. We have software that runs our equipment and pulls data out of there. And if we, or they, I'm not in that industry anymore, but if they have to continue to focus on that part of the process, the equipment is going to take a hit.
Yeah.
We want them to focus on that. So it seems like there really is a good opportunity there for Intaratio to work with the equipment manufacturers, because you're solving a huge problem that so many of them are facing, and they don't have the answer, and they'll lose out on the business if they don't have the answer.
You know, we love to be there in those conversations. You know, there's kind of a little bit of a dark side too, though, on the equipment side. A lot of them there's a lot of value to what equipment vendors can bring in terms of the data. But what we're seeing on the dark side of it is a lot of them are actually trying to write their own little software solutions and analytics around it. Now that's great, but the reality, just to be honest, is that you're only within the purview of your equipment, right? Mm-hmm. We're in the purview of the entire line across the enterprise, you know, so it's a different perspective. So what we find is sometimes they're just blocking from this data integration because they realize the value, and we're not going to argue that. It's valuable. Your end customer should pay for sharing that data, absolutely, because of the value. But they're creating an impediment by blocking it, thinking, you know, they can do the analytics and then think they can actually take on other parts of the manufacturing line. And they just can't. You know, it's a reality.
Yeah, I think you're just being nice. What you're ultimately saying is build equipment, let us handle the data part. Okay. Let us handle the AI. Because
I work with you in a close partnership.
Yeah, I've been on so many of those calls. Okay. I mean, I remember having customers come to our equipment we've been building for 40 years, and they're like, we need this data, we need this data, we need this data. And we're like, well, what do you need it for? And they have no idea. Yeah. And then we go, well, what other data do you need? We want all the data. And we're like, we don't even know how to pull it out of the machine. It's there, but you know, and the more time we spend focusing on something we don't know, the less time we spend on improving the equipment. And that's the most important thing.
No, very interesting. Yeah, no, I love the perspective. And yeah, there's the other side is the IT, the deployment side, right? So what we bring from being a data-centric, a data-first customer company is software, right? We understand the IT landscape. We understand how you deal with mixed operating systems, mixed vintages of machines on a network. How do you do it safely, securely? We've got Cisco systems as a customer. We've got space military defense customers. I mean, locked down. So we understand security. We understand speed. How do you bring something into where you connect to machines and data, where we can set this up? If you give us access to low-cost commodity Linux hardware, we'll tell you how to set it up, connect it into your network, and we can deploy in a day. Like, that's how fast. There's a real straightforward way, but what we find is a lot of machine vendors, a lot of different IT groups, they're used to looking at things in a different way. You know, they buy from this certain vendor, they try and do it this way. Then you deal with mixed mode environment. Now the challenges start coming in. So that's the other thing we bring to the industry. Our deployment process, I don't think there's no MES system, full suite MES system company I know of, this is a big claim, that can deploy as fast as us in the complex type of lines we do. We've done full brand new line SMT deployments in 12 weeks, lights out, digitized. Load your boards, fire off the board stacker, and just watch the data, watch everything move. Yeah, but it's because of our deep understanding of the challenges of IT and how to work with that very quickly. That's the thing you want to solve. And then, connect to the data, work and go seamlessly. Don't put software on a machine that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, and also it's training them how to use it, right? Because you can pull as much data as you want, you can get as much information, but if they don't know how to access it or what they need it for, it just becomes obsolete. So I think that's one thing that has really helped you.
Good point.
Helped you with your position is you're in there, and part of the defense.
I was a product and test engineer.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
I ate, lived, and breathed data. I mean, I wanted to prevent reliability issues. I wanted to remove the idea that we're going to have scrap. Yeah, and it was all about the data. You know. Yeah. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, of course, man. Hey, that's why they put me in the hot seat, or put you in the hot seat. I just asked the good questions, but Ryan. I mean, I always have a good time. I learn every time I talk to you. I learn, and I think we just came up with another business plan. So let's go write it down before we forget. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Always. Yep.